I know you, didn't I? Yeah. You've been commenting in our YouTube videos saying they suck and we got no fans. Yeah, all right, yeah. I'll give you something to watch. If you don't know what to do when someone swings a punch at you, then you really don't know how to defend yourself. And that's putting you and your loved ones at serious risk. In this video, we're going to show you some simple and effective ways to deal with this kind of attack that work even if you're not big, strong, or fast. But before we get into all that, if you want to feel safer and more confident without having to spend years training in martial arts, then you should definitely download our free Street Safety Quick Guide. It's a 5-minute read packed full of personal safety tips to help keep you and your loved ones safe. There's a link in the description of the video and the pinned comment as well. So now let's look at how to respond when someone swings a punch at you or even multiple punches. We're going to go through the list from most to least optimal. I wouldn't say good or bad because none of them are necessarily bad, but as we go through the video, the situation is going to develop and get worse and your chances of staying safe are a lot less. So best case scenario, someone squaring up to you, making threats, they look like they're about to take a big swing at you. Watch this, ready? If you can walk away or you can talk it out, fantastic. And to be honest with you, that's probably going to work 95% of the time, just walking away or talking it out. But remember, they can walk too, right? And if you run, they can run as well. And running away isn't always the best option, so we have to have some alternatives to defend ourselves. So what's the next most optimal thing you can do if you can't run away, you can't talk it out? Well, it's something that we like to call do unto others before they do unto you. So if you really reasonably believe that somebody's about to hit you, hit them first with whatever you can. If you're a big strong guy, it could simply be a bang with a straight or a hook, a big strong power punch. If you're not so strong, maybe you're a smaller woman, for example, it could be using whatever you have, using your nails to scram, targeting vulnerable areas. We like to use high and low, so it could be jab to the eyes and a knee to the groin. It could be a kick to the balls and then hammer fist to the back of the head. Mix it up in order to create distance so that you can pull out your weapon or to then escape. So moving on to next optimal. Let's say you haven't ran away and you haven't been able to get a clean preemptive strike, and now somebody is actually in the process of throwing at you.
So in this case, he's loading the gun, okay? And before he unloads the gun in my face, I'm gonna do something. He's not a professional boxer, he's a boxer, maybe he's gonna throw something very quick, but if it's, the chances are he's gonna windmilling, you know, he's gonna load it. When he's loading it, bam. There are multiple ways, so I can just push, I can like block and punch, or I can just bend backwards and kick, even pushing, you know what I mean? He's loading, you know what I mean? So there are multiple ways to make contact before he unloads the power on you.
So in Krav Maga, which we do, they teach the 360 defense, which is essentially coming out and meeting the strike with a block while striking yourself at the same time. Show it from the other angle as well so they can see. Striking and blocking at the same time. Because Raul's much stronger, right, coming and meeting the punch than he is not coming, just putting his guard up, whatever, or leaning back. His arm, his whole defense is so much stronger when he leaps forward into the shot. If you're not very confident, maybe you've never fought before, then it could be that a preemptive strike is just out of the question for you. If you're not a trained fighter, it could also be that a Krav Maga 360 block and punch is not going to work for you either. And that brings us on to what is the next most optimal. The next most optimal is just using your basic survival instincts. Chances are, if you're not trained and someone's thrown a punch at you, you're probably just going to shit yourself and flinch and move back, right? And that's fine to an extent. What we don't want is for you to keep doing that, because eventually I'll win. So if I'm throwing a punch, he might move back the first one, but eventually I'm going to land one, he's going to trip, fall over. It's a lot easier for me with forwards momentum than it is for him going backwards. So natural instinct is good to an extent. So use that natural instinct to your advantage. If I've thrown a punch and he's moved out the way, come back in for the second one.
So we are in taking the punch territory now. We are absorbing, trying to avoid get knocked out. Don't absorb with your face. Try to use your guard. But only having the hands up is not going to be enough. You can just take the punch, covering, basically. Covering, basically. The guys in America, the 52 blocks, they call it shut the door. Okay, shut the door, guys, cover. And then your elbow to his face. Collapse the elbow is a great counter. It's an automatic counter. Just collapse your body there, and then you can keep on striking with the elbows, with the punch, everything. What happens if it's a stray punch, for instance, across? Okay, then you can deflect. You can deflect and then punch. Okay, you can catch and then keep on punching. Okay, you can parry. You can do and then punch. Okay, in professional boxing we call it a catch and shoot. Catch, shoot. Okay, catch, shoot. catch, shoot, okay? So catch, shoot. One thing that I tell my professional boxers is two things actually. One, just having the hands up is not enough, okay? You need to do something with your arms than having the hands up, okay? And secondly, don't take more than 2 punches without replying. Yeah. Otherwise, you're gonna in professional boxing, the referee is gonna stop the fight for inferiority, or in amateur, even worse. But in the street, if you get 2-3 times punch, probably you are losing the fight already. So maybe Ryan is gonna throw 1, maybe you're gonna throw 2, and then I need to start replying, guys. I cannot just stay there, because in the end I'm gonna lose the control of the situation and he's gonna batter me.
So you may be thinking, well, that's great. I've managed to stop the punch. I've even managed to counter and put him on the back foot. But what comes next? We can't just stand there and congratulate ourselves. And we also don't want to end up in a 50-50 fist fight, okay? So the fundamental principle to remember is that you either want to be too close or too far away. So if I've thrown a big swinging punch at Raul, he either wants to be too close to me, right? So tying up my arm maybe, taking my best arm out of the fight, and then coming in with punches, knees, elbows, palm strikes, whatever it might be, beating me down to the ground until I'm no longer a threat. Or you want to be too far away. So if I've thrown a big swinging punch, Raul's going to stop it, get some distance, and from there he can pull out a weapon. He can withdraw his tactical pen, he can drop it on the floor, get a weapon to put him in a better position to essentially not have a fair fight with me. Well, this is really the fundamentals of being able to defend yourself if the worst happens. But if you want to do better than just surviving, and you actually want to gain an advantage over someone that's approaching you, making threats to beat you up, you should definitely check out this next video.